Right, hello peoples. I hope to, whatever, that you can adequately hear what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm doing this on my phone, and I don't think it's really the best phone in the world for doing stuff like this. And unfortunately, I have a bit of a high, quiet voice. There are descriptions for voices and whatever, and at the moment I can't really think exactly what it is. So you might have to turn the volume up an awful lot to hear me. But I'm gonna go to. I hope I don't incriminate myself too much, but that quickly. It's what I'm going to do. I'm planning with the help of ChatGPT to get the words in a sentence. What was it? What was I planning to do? Something with boring. Like I did another video, remember? So like something, you're so boring. I can't remember what I was going to do. I have never been quite so bored in my entire life. Try that. So 60 sentences using the words I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and see what comes up. I remember when I did this one time, usually in my understanding of what constitutes a grammatically correct English sentence that makes some kind of semantic sense, it usually does a pretty good job, but I can't remember offhand now. I was sadly, what's the word, let down, that it made a lot of mistakes. And here we go, number 31. What did I ask for? 60 sentences, but you're a bit useless. And I think you just have to let it go. I let it go because it doesn't comprehend anything really. As I understand it, this machine doesn't understand what English is. It's just very cleverly putting stuff together in an algorithm. So it doesn't actually comprehend what a number is. So we take that, and then I've got a real problem because I'm using the notepad, but notepads are bloody hopeless because if you've got large amounts of data to dump, I don't think it's a good place to put it. Oh God, it's been 4 minutes. My, how time flies when you're having fun. And I get rid of the stuff at the bottom of old ChatGPT. Oh my God, there's a rut. What the hell? And then go up the top here. And what have they got? They're giving it some kind of title. Boredom, existence, existential boredom. What a load of bollocks. I wasn't talking about existential boredom. Oh, whatever. I'm not sure what I'd call it. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence as I am right now. I mean, I'm just being overly dramatic. Flowery, poetic language from someone who likes to be overly dramatic. But of course, this machine wouldn't understand stuff like that. So, what is it? What am I going to do? I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence. I have never been so bored. I have never been. Oh, whatever. There's a disgusting noise. Oh, fuck. It sounds like a pussy just going on and on. Poor pussy. 60 sentences using the words I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence. Yeah, I may. Have you ever thought that you're wasting your time? Because I'm not sure that's very good English on many levels. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence as I am right now. This is the most boring thing I have ever experienced in my entire existence. I've done a lot of dull things in my life, but I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence. My entire existence has been devoid of excitement and adventure, but I have never been quite so bored as I am right now. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and it feels like time is standing still. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I don't know how to pass the time. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I feel like I'm wasting my life. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I can't wait for this to be over. I have never been quite so bored in my life. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I wish I had something more interesting to do. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. Talk about losing your mind. Actually, I can actually pause it, have a break and come back. I think it's that. Right, isn't that an old buggery shit? Oh, I'm not sure whether it's going or whether it's not going. This particular program is really annoying. I think it's not going. Oh, I was having problems with that. Oh, it's so annoying. There's this pussy that's just going on and on and on, crying and bitching and whining and moaning. Have you ever heard a pussy go on and on and on and oh, fucking Jesus. So, I can't really remember where we are. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I wish I had something more interesting to do. There was that thing about I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel lethargic. I think that sentence there is a bit strange. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm struggling to stay awake. No, there would be that, because I think it'd be an interesting question to ask people. Boredom and say, oh, I'm just falling asleep. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm considering doing something drastic to break the monotony. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm afraid that this is all there is. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm wondering if there's more to life than this. Well, there isn't. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to lose hope. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm feeling a sense of despair. Oh, this is getting bloody depressing and very, dare I suggest, it's boring. Who can go through this? I mean, oh, Christ. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to doubt myself. Well, I think that's really illogical. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm questioning the purpose of my life. Oh my God. Despair, despair, despair. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm struggling to find meaning in anything. Oh dear God. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel depressed. Well, this is actually playing on my mind as well. It's dumb. It's retarded. I've never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm worried that I'm wasting my potential. I think that's related to, there was another sentence, I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm coming to the conclusion that I'm wasting my life. Oh God, how depressing. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm wondering if I'm living up to my expectations. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm feeling lost and directionless. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel like a failure. Oh my God. Oh, doesn't that cut? I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm worried that I'm not living life to the fullest. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel like my life is passing me by. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm wondering if I'm making the most of my time. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel like I'm wasting my youth. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm wondering if I'll ever find something that excites me. I have never been quite so bored in my entire existence, and I'm starting to feel like I'm stuck in a rut. And we've reached 13 minutes, and we can get this translated into French. For the life of me, I have no idea. If I was going to be asked the question, would you please now translate into French these sentences? Oh, I hate translation. I have never been so bored. Oh, for the life of me, let's just get this over with. My God. So, and then we go select all, and then we go there. And you'd have to recognise this is not very positive. It's bloody depressing. God, that's depressing. It's like you would have to choose uplifting, joyful shit, don't you? Uplifting, joyful shit. Oh, somehow I don't think so. It's like, oh my God. And supposedly this is the correct translation in the French. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé. I was going to say ennuyé. Ennui. Ennui existence. Ennui existentiel. 60 phrases utilisant les mots je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. I mean, for God's sake, it's the saviour of the day is the utter magnifique sexiness that is the French language. Oh my God. It doesn't matter if the content is depressing as hell, but glory shit. 60 phrases utilisant les mots je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence qu'en ce moment. C'est la chose la plus ennuyeuse que j'ai jamais vécue de toute mon existence. J'ai fait beaucoup de choses ennuyeuses dans ma vie. Excuse me. J'ai fait beaucoup de choses ennuyeuses dans ma vie, mais je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. Toute mon existence a été dépourvue d'excitation et d'aventure, mais je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé qu'en ce moment. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. J'ai l'impression que le temps s'arrête. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence et je ne sais pas comment passer le temps. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. J'ai l'impression de gâcher ma vie. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence et j'ai hâte que cela se termine. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence et j'aimerais avoir quelque chose de plus intéressant à faire. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence et j'ai l'impression de perdre la tête. That's the mind one. I have never, in my entire existence, been so bored and had and it's left me with the impression that I'm losing my mind. Je ne me suis jamais, I'm so bored, I'm losing my mind. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence et je commence à me sentir léthargique. I remember having a reaction to that sentence in English, and it's the same thing. French and English are very similar. I remember in English we have the word fatigue, there's tiredness, and then there's fatigue, and there is a conceptual difference. Not being the greatest French speaker that's ever walked the face of the globe, in French you have, if you want to say simply, I am tired, je suis arrêt, Megan, no, je suis fatigué. But then, and I'm not sure about this, and I hope to God there might be some French people out there who actually are real experts in the language and help me with that thing, the thing of, and then there's lethargy in English, lethargy, and in French it's léthargique, very similar. Do I really want to come to the end of it? I mean, God, is a little bit. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence. J'ai du mal à rester éveillé. Oh, that's enough. I've never been so bored in my entire life, and I'm finding it difficult to stay awake. Je ne me suis jamais autant ennuyé de toute mon existence, et j'envisage de faire quelque chose de radical juste pour rompre la monotonie. 19 minutes stopping. It is stop. No,